Hey guys, so I came up with how society works in a whole while figuring out how to be sane in an insane world. It's actually quite interesting. There's a lot of shit you wouldn't even suspect. This is gonna be for the negative 3% of the population if you choose to believe it. I plan on getting to negative 100%, but if you're not willing to do that, that's up to you. No judgment here. I accept all facts of life. Unlike most people, I'm willing to adapt and change with the environment. Not many people can do that because they have certain things that keep them structurally sound to reality. When you can let go of reality in a sane manner, you can truly evolve as a person. So let me explain this and how society is kind of breaking down. Okay. Number one, love. It is a drug that is literally killing you. Think about it. Love basically makes you do insane things for the person you love. It can be anyone in your life. If you care about them, it will emotionally drain you to do insane things you wouldn't normally do on your better judgment as a self individual. You do it anyways, though, because you care about the individual. But you can't let that stop you from reaching full potential. Yes, you can have them in your life, but on a personal level, don't give a shit about them. You don't have to tell that to your face. In this world, you need to figure out how to survive undercover. So, basically, learn that love is a drug and learn when to cut off your emotions in the appropriate manner when someone is trying to control you. Now, two, logic keeps you in place. People use logic against you to keep you down. So think about it. Peace officers, they they are always on the scene in every scenario. Sure, they keep the peace for the general public, but think about it. If you're the one getting arrested in that situation, you don't think they're fucking peace officers. You think they're fucking assassins who are using their brute strength and power to basically dominate you in that situation with either powerful words or self-defense acts. They use logic to bring you down to their level. First, they drug you with love, then they drug you with logic. Well, they no. First they drug you with love, then they use logic to keep you under that drug. Okay, the next one. Craziness is rejected. Think about it. There's lots of people in history who did very questionable things, were considered mentally ill, and hundreds of years later, once they're dead, we say that they were a miracle and inspiration in life. The clinically insane are the clinically impressive people in life. Think about it. Now, this is a deep one that I learned. The virus was deadly. It gave everyone fear and basically hope for survival of humanity. It kept you in your place. That goes into a deeper level that I'm still kind of like questioning. Like, I know it was done by an animal, but like it started in China and the masses kind of like didn't really think about that. Like, think about it. I figured out that right away that it was by China. I kept saying it throughout the media that it was China. No one fucking listened besides Donald Trump. He actually agreed with me on this, but as a politician who is also clinically insane, he acted like the person who created the Joker, stole all the original guy's ideas, and just because the person wouldn't directly go to them to say that it was their idea as the Joker, just because they would steal their ideas, is an insane way of thinking, because you want to get your ideas out there. Someone stole it, but if you went to them, they would just steal an idea from you that made them the idea. It's a very complicated scenario. That's why it's confusing as fuck. That's why I don't want to get into that. Basically, the virus was deadly and it killed so many people and kept people in place. That's the scenario of it. It made people scared and controlled the population into fear. It made people realize their mortality. It made people say, I am not a god, and I should respect the elderly. I should think of my fellow citizen in need, and I should care about children. It kept you in place with the basics of human society, the stuff that we hated as a species. No one is clever enough to actually question this. They go along with society because they ignored rule number 1 on figuring the facts of life. Love is a drug. Kill love and you succeed at mastering your mind. You can still act like it. Like when you cut out emotional love permanently, it is so easy to fake it. It is insane how much I can throw people off just by acting nice in public. It is so simple to be clinically sane that clinically being insane in a practice makes it so damn easy. Now, the last one, because it made people realize their mortality and controlled the masses, it got rid of all the people who basically acted like gods and didn't give a shit. So basically, the god complex of society was cast out, i.e., the fear that someone believes that they are better than them. No one is better than anyone in a physical state. That's why people are afraid of clinically insane people. It's because it's an unknown. If you look up the worst fear imaginable, it is the fact that we are afraid of the unknown. If you get shocked by pressing a button, you know when the shock is coming. But if you're attached to electrodes while someone behind a wall basically presses a button at random, you'll be in there freaking out, wondering why you're attached to all this shit while they shock you at random. The fear of being killed in an unknown way makes people basically step into place. So unknownness basically keeps everyone in check. So if you can conquer the fear of unknownness, you can conquer the fear of yourself. Basically, I figured that life doesn't matter in logic, and life doesn't matter of insanity. Let's combine them and see what happens. It turns out you can become a pretty damn powerful person in the right hands. So, the thing is, you gotta really question everything in an insane way, but in a sane way to get true answers in life. I didn't come across this by just acting insane according to humanity's standards. I didn't come across this as a person of total sanity. I combined both aspects to explore both aspects to get a sense of what is what. In the long term, this whole breakdown of how society basically uses the basic drive of every single human being to a subservient level just because they are so addicted with the reproduction system. Think about it. If you were a teenager and you've never had sex and everyone was telling you that you need to find the love of your life at some point, you're going to automatically be questioning it when you also are kind of like, why the fuck would I do that? I kind of want to be on my own. But at the same time, you can't do that. You need to choose one or the other. The thing is, that doesn't always work. You need to figure out who you are, but at the same time, it can't always be found in the traditional pattern. I broke this all down. Honestly, I'm not worried about the human race. The human race is fine without me. One less human being who's stuck in his place while also figuring out the mysteries of the universe is basically me. I don't tell anyone what I'm truly thinking because I'm one step ahead of them. I tell them just enough information to get them started on what I'm thinking about, but what I'm truly thinking about is all in my head. I never truly plan out. Everything I say is what I want to share with you. I actually have stuff that I don't tell you personally. I have stuff that I say to you guys that I don't tell my family. There are two sides to every coin, but at the same time, those two sides aren't the whole story. It's the person who's flipping the coin back and forth saying, oh, that's tails, that's heads. Two sides are flipped by one individual. This is the coexistence of both. That's as far as I got with exploring insanity so far. I have a lot more research to go, but I figured out the basic formula. I call it the anti-God code. This code in life keeps you in place, in check, and to society's standards. Until you see this video as actual fact and not a crazy crackpot theory, you will never be up to standard to the next evolutionary state of humanity. You will always be a human. Yes, I am obviously a human. I have a beard, I have hair, I have skin, I have all the makings of a freaking human being. The only difference that no one can take away from you in changing something is your mind. That is the true key to everything in existence. Think about it. The masses want to keep you down because information is powerful. They're also one step of everyone else. That's why if you want to be one step of whoever's controlling the entire thing of society, you got to figure out each little bit of information on your own, come up with a theory, then come up with a backup theory ahead of time, and keep that one to yourself, and then release the theory of the previous one to the community. They're gonna think you're totally insane and go like, this guy's insane. I can't believe he's like this. Man, he has some interesting but weird ideas. Do you really believe that? This guy's totally nuts. Why are you listening to that asshole? He just said love is everything. Now come over here and give me a kiss. Or you can keep listening to him and get no sex and be stuck on the couch. See, people use words like that to put you down. It's fucking pathetic. If you step out of the realm of humanity, you become something more. Something that society will not allow. That is why you need to figure out how to evolve. If you can evolve your mind, the true world doesn't matter. You can act and be totally normal, but thinking really fucked up shit. You can act totally fucked up and have a totally sane mind. The only difference between both sides is that they're always contradicting themselves. They're trying to discover if they should go along with society's standards and follow love, or work on themselves and be a social outcast. Because people are so addicted with social media, they think that it is proper and desirable to be with another person. Now, let me know what you think about it. Oh wait, you can't. Know why? Cuz I'm one step ahead of it. I disabled comments because you guys were total assholes. Well, guess what, bitches? The ball's in my court now. Are you going to be a social reject like me who's living the life trying to develop your mind in a way that challenges you, a way that questions your very existence in life? Or are you going to be a sheep, a docile creature who has no instincts, no capabilities, no nothing? A sheep, in a sense, is an animal so designed by human beings that it has no natural features to help itself in the community. You know what happens to a sheep that doesn't get sheared? It just builds up wool until it eventually just can't walk. And by that point, it loses the ability of its legs. It is dependent on the shepherd for life. I don't know who the shepherd is of this whole idea that we should use love to basically keep everyone drugged under this veil that will never be opened by the truly strong, but for some reason it is. And because of this, people are blinded and will say anything just to defend the people they love. And because of that, that makes them a weaker species. If you care more about your loved ones, you are following the natural way that life flows. You are stuck in evolution's trap. You are stuck in the current understanding of evolution's trap. If you want to be a different species, you gotta move away from the crowd. Isolation might have destroyed my social life, but I've evolved mentally from the crowd. Just because I'm a physical human being and will never change my destiny on my species does not mean I can't have a mind like a clinically insane person, but also the sanest person you will ever meet at the exact same time. I created the world in my head according to me. Human beings are naturally contradictors. They will say, I love someone, and if they get hurt by that person, or if they fall out of love and then basically say, oh, I'm gonna leave you because I think that's what's right for me. People will accept that as normal. That is not normal in the sense. That is basically saying, okay, I will totally love you. I will totally care about your needs. That is the trap. That is the trap right there. You are trapped by love. The moment you fall for that, you are enslaved by your own emotions. You get trapped by love. The person who didn't love you in the end did originally love you for all standards. The thing is, when love hits, either induced or accepted, you get drugged out. You generally feel love in the moment, but when love falls out, you think both sides think that they were total assholes or bitches and totally cheated the other person and lied to them. That is not the case. Love makes you blind in both sides. That's why there's a war on the sexes. And that's what keeps people in place. They're afraid to lose the opposite sex due to the natural flow of how human beings work. Stop the evolutionary track. Focus on what is real, what is fake, to find what is true about the real world and the world you cannot see with your physical eyes. When you can master both, you will have reached the stage that I am. When you can take all this information and accept it as fact, you will become the truest of true, the negative 3% of the population. See you guys.